Hi, this is Susan from Quilted Hearts, and today's our first day of the Urban Cabin Quilt-A-Long. If you haven't purchased your pattern or your book, you still can. Here's the kit, the pattern book or the kit, Here's the kit, and the pattern comes with it if you buy the kit. And so it's a really good deal on the fabric if you want to do that. If not, just purchase the pattern and use your own fabric. But have it all cut out and ready to go, and we'll get started. Let me get to my page. So as you know, you always do 1/4 inch seams, and you do right sides together, unless I've otherwise stated. But I have the first block, and I'm going to do block A. And I'm going to do block B after, but I'm not going to film that. You guys can just do it on your own. But I get out of my little containers that I showed you on my last video. I pull out all the sizes that I need for this one. So in fabric A1, I need a 2x2 square, and that's this one right here, and that's in white. And then for fabric B, I've got a 1x3, and I need 4 of those. So there's my black fabric B's. I need my fabric C's, 2.5 by 5.5. That's these. My black fabric B and 1x8s. And then my lime green is fabric H1. Well, I don't know, it's kind of a chartreuse color. I'm not sure what they call this but it's my H color, and it's 2.5 by 10.5. And I get all those out for my first, and I also have gotten them out for my block 1B that I'll do next after I do my first one. After I do my first block. But we're going to do 2 blocks of each block, and then at the end you'll have 20 blocks, which will make the 51.5 by 67 lap size quilt. All right, so let's get started. And I have really good instructions for all these, so you shouldn't really have any trouble. But first, I'm going to start by sewing this black piece onto the white, my B piece onto my A piece, and I'm going to use my 1/4 inch. Let me get my stitch regulated, and I'm going to go down till I'm about 1/2 or 1/4 of the way down. See, like this. I've left about 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to iron this. I'm going to iron it with my my seam allowance pressed towards the dark. Okay, so always try to do that. It looks best that way when the quilt's all done. And so you just avoid ironing that part or pressing that part that we left like this, okay? So then next I'm going to add the piece across the top. Like that. Okay, and I'm going to press that towards the dark. And there you have it like that. It should be like that. Now we're going to put down the side. pressing as you go, it really helps you get a nice, good square going on. That's, the length stays more accurate. Okay, now we've come to this part, and we're gonna move this tail out of the way, and we're gonna sew from the edge of the white across the black. And then iron that towards the black. Okay, and then we have this piece right here, and we're going to lay it over this and sew down over the black we just added. Okay, now this should measure 1 by 3.5. I mean, not 1 by 3.5. It should measure 3.5 square, okay? Make sure you measure 3.5 square or whatever you measure it as. No, it really needs to be 3.5, because if not, you're gonna get off as you build. Okay, so it's really smart to measure as you go. So the next color I'm going to add is C, which is my gray, and they're the 2.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to do it the very same way. I'm going to put it on here, and I'm just going to stop about 1/2 inch from the end, okay? Okay, do you see that? How I stopped right there? And I'm going to press it open. And you press it towards the dark. But the dark doesn't show through the gray, so I'm going towards the gray. And now I'm going to go across the top. And I'll press this. And this is how we're going. So see this? This is how it's going. Okay, do you see how we're building this? Now, I'm going to pull this apart like this. Pull this back, I mean, not apart. Pull this back, and I'm going to lay this right up against there and sew down that. And you know, as the blocks go on, they get a little bit more complicated. These are the easy ones. So this is kind of repetitious at first. Doing this. Doing the same thing around, but it's really fun to see it building this unique block. Okay, and there we go. Got C all finished, and now I measure it. And I just have my handy little mat out here to do this. And it should measure 7.5, okay? And it looks like it does. Whoops, it's kind of off, but I'm a little under. But what I'm gonna end up having to do is just stretch it to that point, which sometimes you have to do a little easing. But this is from the Big White Mat Factory, this mat. And it is a self-healing mat, and it's so cool because if you get anything in the creases or anything, you can just brush it off with an acrylic or a flat edge of something, and it heals and it takes out any of the gunk that gets in the crevices. So I really like this mat. It's really cool. Okay, next I'm going to do my B1 by 8s. Okay, and I'm doing them the very same way I did the other steps. Again, I'm just going to leave a little bit. Now, you know, you can leave as much space as you feel like you need down here at this end. I just leave about 1/2 inch because that works best for me. Now I'm going to put one across the top. Oh no, I'm going to iron first. Jeez, I almost forgot. So my mom's here watching me do this just to make sure that I'm doing everything how I want it to be done. She's done that since I was 4 years old when she first taught me how to sew. She's always been there for me. Okay, so now I've got the first 2 done. Got 2 more to do. And then we'll be on our last round. I always make funny faces when I'm sewing, I think. Suck my lip in and all sorts of things. I catch myself doing that a lot. I sometimes get chapped lips because I do it so much. Okay, so now I got that ironed, and now I'm going to fold that back and do this last one. This always trips people up, so just remember that you save this for the very last. Look how much I've got left. Well, that doesn't mean, let me see if I'm off. Yeah, I'm off a little bit. I'll have to really pull this to get it back in shape. It's because I've been doing the strips on the top probably. I'm going to give me a little more room because I've got to ease that little bit in so that I make sure I get it the right size. All right, yep, I got it to work. Okay, and here's my block.
Looks really good.
And now it measures 8.5 by 8.5. Isn't that turning out cute? Okay, so now I'm going to do that again where I start off leaving about a 1/2 inch at the bottom. Like I said, you can leave as much as you want. See, I left a little more for people who want to leave a little bit more, and I'm going to show you it really doesn't matter. Oh, I've got to iron towards the dark because with this citron or whatever color it is, I'm not sure if it's lime green or chartreuse or what.
Chartreuse.
Is it chartreuse?
I would say.
Yeah, that kind of looks like a chartreuse to me too.
Lime.
But I liked this color because it really pops with in the whole quilt. Oh, whoops, I forgot again. We want to iron to the dark. And I'm just going to clip this seam right here because I didn't fold it down because I forgot I was folding it, doing it to the dark. And I'll iron it down. Two more strips and this quilt piece is done. This block. And it doesn't really take you very long to do them. So I hope this moves along fast enough for everybody. But with other projects, at least you don't have to spend a lot of time with this, and we'll just do it a little bit at a time. Most people have a lot of projects going on. But if you get tired of waiting, you could just move right along and just post your blocks. Just make sure you post your blocks on Instagram with hashtag Urban Cabin Quilt-A-Long, QAL hashtag, and Quilted Hearts. And then we'll have a drawing for every month. And I've got some really good prizes. I'm going to give away binding eases, and I'm going to give away quilt kits, and I've got different companies that have donated stuff for me to give. So it's going to be really fun. One of them is Wild Plum Lane. She's donating a few things. She's a sweetheart. Okay, I'm on my last one. And you want to ease these in to make sure you stay at 12.5. Somebody set that in my binding needs, but I could have. Okay, so there we go. It's all done. I'm gonna just iron this last part. Then I'm gonna flip it over and iron the whole front of it. Okay, and then it should measure 12.5 by 12.5. And if it doesn't, at least maybe you can pull it. That way it does. And that way it does. So anyway, at least one side I can pull it to that. So there's your first block. Okay, and tune in next month and see how to do the next block, number 2. Thank you for joining us. See you later.